Hey there, horror movie tea sippers.
The following podcast episode will contain spoilers for the movie we are about to review. If you have not seen the movie and do not wish to have anything ruined prematurely, please do not continue to watch or listen until you have seen the movie.
And welcome to the Horror Movie Tea Podcast. Today we are covering The Old Dark House, which came out in 1963 and was requested by Keith.
We didn't know until we just looked it up that there was also apparently another one.
A 1932 version. We're assuming you meant the 63 version.
We hope we watched the right version of the one you recommended, Keith. Sorry if we didn't.
Yep.
We tried.
But before we go into the review, let's craft our cups and talk about tea. So, I'm drinking the Republic of Tea Comfort and Joy tea. It's got black tea, cinnamon, cloves, licorice, and apple bits.
And I'm drinking Republic of Tea's Peppermint Bark, which has organic peppermint, organic green rooibos, organic cocoa extract, natural flavors, organic blackberry leaves, and organic monk fruit. So it is naturally slightly sweet. It actually kind of tastes like mint chocolate. Or chocolatey mint, rather. Like the mint is more pronounced than chocolate flavor.
Which makes sense.
But it's tasty.
I have to try it.
Yeah. I love how this is your stash. I tried it before you did.
I think I may have tried a sample of it before. I don't remember. But yeah. Well, thank you to the Republic of Tea for allowing us to continue to do what we love. And for our tea sippers out there, brew yourself a cup of tea, sit back, relax, and we hope you enjoy the review. So for the summary, our main man, Tom, got invited to a house, a creepy old house.
The old dark house.
The old dark house. And he kind of has a rough go getting there and also coming into the house.
Yeah.
But the person that invited him there
died.
He died.
An hour before.
Yeah. What a quinky dink. And they uncover that the whole family is staying there because if they have to follow particular rules in order to get like the
inheritance.
The inheritance. Like it's weird rules like they have to be at the house before like midnight. And it's like not even in the house, it's like a particular room.
They have to be in a particular room by midnight.
Yeah.
Every night.
Yeah. Which is just odd because it's like, what if it's the day? Can you just poke your finger in and you're like, it counts? Like, I don't know. But anyways.
I don't think so because then when the aunt doesn't show up later, like the second that she didn't arrive in time, they were like, she forfeits her inheritance portion.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. But anyways, yeah, so murders start happening, presumably because the killer's trying to get the inheritance, and it's just a wacky ride from there. So, for entertainment, I will say, I knew it said it was a horror comedy, but I wasn't exactly sure what to expect because the trailer didn't really... It kind of showed the slower part, so it wasn't like a whole lot. But anyways, I give it a 7. So I enjoyed the movie, and it's not going to be a movie I'm going to watch every year, but I would definitely watch it again. A lot of the humor was like almost slapstick.
Yeah. Like
with Tom like continuously like falling through the trap door back into the house.
And then the coal bin.
Yes. Yes. And then you have like the really horny Morgana that is just like essentially leaping onto Tom.
Morgana is
And the
DTF.
dad and her dad is
For
like
sure.
trying to like come after Tom, and he's like, I swear I'm not trying to elope
I'm
with your
not
daughter.
trying to
Like,
get with your daughter.
yeah, it's like, I don't want her. She just she won't
I'm
stop
more
attacking
into
me.
the other chick, to be
Yeah,
honest.
Yeah. And I really like the joke of like Casper and Jasper.
Oh my god, yes.
Um,
Humpty and Dumpty.
yeah. And anyways, it's like this movie, I mean, it did have some slower parts, which I feel like for these older movies is fairly common. But I really did enjoy like this. Some of the scenes that were more slapstick did really work. I also thought it was interesting, and it's like, oh man, it would suck to go through this where it's like he went to bend over and his tie hit like the water bowl, and then his tie like had the acid eat it up, and then he goes to show them, and then it's just plain water. Oh man. So it's like, it was it's almost like Fun House if it were a movie. Like you're just like along for the ride. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed it. I thought that the fact that Cecily was the killer was also really interesting, because in the beginning and throughout the movie they established that she didn't really seem interested in the inheritance, but then it's like you kind of are like, well then why are you also like still staying in the house? Like obviously you care at least a little bit. And then the fact that she ends up being the killer. And I also thought it was kind of funny when Morgana was trapped and Tom's asking her where all of the clocks are. And she's like, I don't remember. It's like, but it's like, oh man, it's just, yeah, it's like, it didn't really feel tense. But I did like, it was more leaning into the comedy of it, where it's just like, more the situation.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Which makes sense, honestly, and especially in a stressful situation, too. But honestly, think about it. If someone asks you, for example, how many fans do you have in your house?
Ceiling fans or?
Just fans. How many fans do you have in your house? And where are they? Just a mundane object that you see and ignore largely. Like you'll hear them or you'll use them on occasion, like you'll look at them, but you don't really catalog in your head how many fans you actually have.
Right.
And where they are.
Yeah, I'd be like, oh, this number or this number. Like I'd have like
and
a
that's what she
ball
said,
range.
6 or 7. That's why he was like, which is it, 6 or 7?
It's like, how? Yeah. But no, that's it. Well, and then the fact that like, you know, since even though they've been living in the house, I'm assuming that the house was like pre-decorated and like had like all of the furniture and stuff there. So since they
they keep being born in the house and living in the house, other people are living there too. So they're constantly like decorating it themselves and
so it's like it's like, at least for me, if I'm not physically putting an object there or I'm not like using that object every day, then I'm going to become like blind to it.
Yeah, and it wasn't her hobby or obsession, it was someone else's.
Yeah. So, totally understand that.
Yeah. So that's what you got for entertainment? Okay. I give it a 6. I kind of want to give it higher, but I can't. Like, I don't know. It was kind of an odd one. It was definitely a roller coaster of the movie. There were several points that I just sat there wondering what in the hell I was watching. For sure. It was just a wild ride.
The knitting needle's death was funny.
Oh my god, yes. The deaths in general were just so ridiculous and funny. So, the guy seems to constantly have bad luck, which relatable. trying to keep the car nice and pristine, and it rains. And then he has to drive through the mud. And then he tries to open the gate, and to be fair, he tried a little harder than he should have. He could see that it was wobbling, and he kept going. He didn't want to, like, pull the car back or anything, but whatever. We'll get to some of that in realism. And then it falls, the statue piece falls onto the hood of the car and wrecks the crap out of it. So then he's stuck there. It's raining. It's storming. He can't go anywhere. The people in the house are weird. He falls down the trap door. People think he's breaking in, so they point guns at him and all. It's just one thing after another. And it's just ridiculous.
I also like the gag of him dipping the tie into the wine, and they're like, it must be an American thing. And then he like tries it.
When really
like,
he's just making sure it's not acid again.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to get some myself.
Yeah. That's good. I'm going to make some for me. So I get that. The characters for the most part were fairly varied in that they were all ridiculous and obsessed with something off the wall and random.
I feel like Cecily was like the most normal.
She was supposed to be painted as the most normal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until she wasn't.
Mm-hmm. Until we found out her hobby was murder. But it's one that I would like to watch with friends and just kind of laugh and poke fun at.
Yeah.
You know? Definitely not one to take serious. Obviously, it's comedy horror, but it's not the first one I would go to either. And probably not the second or third.
It kind of gives me almost like not exactly, but borderline like Clue vibes.
Sort of. It reminded me a lot of Some Like It Hot.
I haven't seen that.
Obviously, Some Like It Hot is not a horror movie. I'm not saying it is. It's just, it gave me similar comedy vibes along those lines. So, I'll explain that one to you later. But it's alright. It was fun to watch, but I was confused. So very confused. Some of those conversations gave me whiplash.
You're like, excuse me?
What? Like Jasper in the beginning, trying to convince him to go to Femme Hall. My cousin? No, the car. Oh, the car? No, my cousin. What? Which one, sir? Can you please pick a lane? I'm so confused. So yeah, that's what I got for entertainment.
Oh man, we have realism.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
I don't even know what to pick for realism.
There is none.
First, honestly, I don't really have a rating. I'll just throw out a 3. It's a 3. Okay, maybe
You're good.
Okay. 2.5 to, I don't know, one of those. But you decide. The chat can decide which one. But what I would be interested in is if, and it might be different in different countries, but if a will can actually be that specific on like, you have to follow these rules, otherwise you don't get the, as far as like, I can understand some things like being like basic guidelines, but it was very specific and very laid out. I'm like, I wonder if they can legally do that, because if so, I might have some fun with my will. So you gotta be able to go upside down with one little finger and say the ABCs backwards. But, because it's like, you can easily see how that could potentially be abused.
So I can see that the stipulation's working for like one generation. I can't really see it for multiple generations.
Yeah.
And we are not by any means professionals on this.
Oh, no.
Just logically, I could see one generation. I can't really see multiple.
You need to get a friend that's a lawyer.
Right?
You need a lawyer
We
friend.
need a lawyer friend. Any of our tea sippers out there a lawyer that we can ask these questions?
Oh, we need a confidant to be able to ask these questions. I don't think Legal Eagle would be.
Oh my god. I think he might have concerns about some of the questions that we send him. I would love to meet him though, if our tea sippers can make that happen. Love your work, dude.
Yeah, I'm not even going to go into the realism of the kills.
They're so off the wall and ridiculous.
And then it's like, why does a house have a trap door?
Well, they said that it was to deter visitors.
But okay, I could understand the trap door if, like, for example, like the coal, like having items are too heavy to bring all the way down into a basement and stuff. Having some sort of mechanism to just like shortcut, like that would be really dumb. But to deter
delivery place,
like really, yeah. Could
how
you
is that to deter porch pirates?
Yeah, I'm like, could you imagine as soon as it like detects like packages, like after a while it just like that'd be nice. Hope it isn't breakable though.
Yeah. Better set fragile stuff elsewhere.
Yeah. That's what I got. I mean, what do you say about realism for this movie?
Honestly, realism for this one was tough, but I'm gonna give it a 1 because it's just so out there. Everyone needs therapy and just a reality check, honestly. I want to know, it was in the 60s, so like how were they getting these things? How were they finding out about these things for their different hobbies and stuff? And how were they getting them? Was it in magazines? If so, how'd they get the magazines to be able to order the stuff?
I don't know.
Like, I have questions. And this guy, one of the guys had guns. I want to say it was Roderick. Sorry. Brushed my finger against the thing.
He was so careless when I know he was expecting it to not fall down and shoot him, but still.
You gotta be careful. Why are any of your guns loaded anyway?
And I think it was purposely loaded though.
Well, that one in particular was, obviously.
Right.
But, like... And what kind of acid is he cleaning his guns with? Because that acid was way stronger than most acids out there. To eat up a tie within a second or two?
Unless if you're supposed to mix it with something, but I don't know. That seems like it'd be too dangerous.
Well, you'd have to do it very, very carefully.
Right.
Very, very carefully. But, yeah, no.
And plus, if it was enough...
Yeah, no. I feel like it was just movie stuff. And, again, most acids don't eat up stuff that fast. Or that completely. But, again, movie magic. Gotta do it. And they brought in, like, quicksand type stuff. Which... Am I the only one that, as a kid, thought quicksand would be more of an issue than it is? Like, that was an actual fear of mine growing up as a kid.
No, well, like...
I've never even seen what it actually looks like.
Well, from... what's like, as a kid, I thought is only, like, in jungles and, like, other, like, tropical places where there's not, like, necessarily a lot of people. But I did find out that, recently that quicksand can be on beaches, too. But it's just, it's like you have to have the right mixture of like moisture and the type of sand and stuff like that.
But you also don't usually sink that far down that quickly.
Right, it's more like you get stuck in it.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult to get out.
Yeah.
But it's
and the
not
more
like
you struggle, the further down you sink. But, like, there's also a bottom.
Yeah.
Like, so I, growing up, thought it was going to be a much bigger issue than it is.
That is
I was lied to.
very specific.
Yeah. And I know I'm not the only one. I can't be the only one. But anyway, continuing on. Just the knitting needles one should have been a lot bloodier than it was. But still funny. Oh my god, it's still funny. How she's just smiling still. The knitting needles in her neck.
Her last moments, she was
The
very happy.
The ark that Uncle Potiphar, I think it was building
Yes.
out back with animals, complete with animals. I'm sorry,
Uncle
sir, what are
Potiphar
you
was just
feeding
unhinged.
them? They're all unhinged. What are you talking
Well,
about?
okay. Yeah. But I feel like Potiphar and then Morgan, the dad of Morgana, like both of them like really stuck out to me, like extra.
Seriously. Poor dude had a giant goose egg on his head, too, from that hit at the end. Jeez.
I love how like Tom like kept looking at it. He was like,
It's like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, dude. The comedy was interesting, but the realism and everything just
not there for you.
it just wasn't there. This whole thing was a giant train wreck of what the hell. And a hyena happens to get out in the middle of the night, but it's just gonna lick his hand and then just sit there and growl at him and not do anything. And it's clearly a taxidermy.
Oh, I was
animal.
dying. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
wow. Them effects.
Oh, yeah. And then they have like a dog exiting the room. Not even a hyena, just a dog.
Yep. That's part of the
Oh
charm.
my god, this movie. So yeah, not realistic at all. I'm still wondering what even happened with the police and all. Like, did they even call the police? Because they're like, oh yeah, Jasper's dead. Or Casper's dead. He was pushed down the stairs, so we know it's murder. But no one's been called. He's just in a coffin. It's fine. You can pay your respects.
Yeah, how
It's
did
all
they get
cool.
the coffin? Like, where did the
It was already
coffin come
made.
from? It's already made?
It was already made. When he fell down into the basement the first time, it showed different coffins that were wrapped in
Oh.
cardboard.
I do remember that now.
Remember?
I remember. He fell down so many times.
So many times. Also, all of the coal, that size, hitting him in the head would have done a hell of a lot more damage. Just saying. And burying him in it, basically. Like, sweetie, no, that's not how that do.
It's definitely very slapstick.
Oh, definitely. Definitely. So, not realistic at all. But funny. It was funny. That's what I got.
Yeah, like, at least I don't think everyone's gonna like it, but I do feel like it's worth a watch because at least for me, there were some scenes that tickled me. But I feel like it is one of those movies that would be much more enjoyable with a group of people for sure.
For sure. It's a good party movie.
Yeah. But yeah. Well, thank you for joining us today and let us know what you thought of the movie. If you'd like to recommend a movie, game, or tea, you can leave us a comment or join our Discord. And if you'd like to keep up to date with our content, you can find our link tree listed below.
And if you'd like to support us monetarily, we have a Teespring and a PayPal, or we have our affiliate link with Republic of Tea available. It does not affect the price of the tea, it just allows us to continue to do what we love. And you can find all of those sites mentioned linked below. But until the next time, guys, stay safe and stay spoopy.
Bye.